Hello friends, this is Worm, and today I wanted to talk about cheating inside of Destiny 2, because a couple days ago I asked the community what you would do to tackle the cheating problem. Now this stems from the whole situation we talked about several days ago, I guess, in regards to Zim users and stuff like that. And I think that there is a little bit of placebo effect across the community right now, because, you know, this whole thing with Zim coming back up in the discussion, all of a sudden everybody and their mom swears they're running into, you know, Zim and Cronus users and all this stuff like that. But I asked the community what they would do about Zim and Cronus and about cheaters. Now, obviously, there are two different types of cheaters. There are your blatant hackers. These are the people that you typically run across in Control, for example, that are flying around the map, just golden gunning everybody on your team, making a billion orbs of power, stuff like that. Those pretty obvious, and we'll talk a little bit more about those in just a second. But the other type of cheater are the subtle cheaters, and these are the ones that are using things like Zim and Cronus and stuff like that to give themselves a competitive edge over other players. Now, in terms of straight hacking, players were very vocal about, you know, what should happen to like straight up hackers. Same thing with Zimmers. But a lot of people didn't really offer the insight that I was looking for onto how to actually fix the problem. So first of all, I want to say this: I don't think Destiny 2 has a cheating problem, okay? And I don't want to, you know, raise fear in the community that like, oh, you're going to encounter cheaters. Like, it is very, very rare that I encounter a blatant hacker. Okay, this is, again, these are those people that you can't kill them. They can literally fly around the map. They have the heavy ammo, the first round of Trials of Osiris. These are like, hackers are very few and far between, and 90% of the time when I report a hacker, they are banned within 24 hours, and 100% of the time they're banned within 48 hours. Okay, so I don't think that Destiny 2 has a hacking problem, you know, cheating problem from the hacking situation. But of course, when we talk about Zim and Cronus, that's a little bit more in detail. Now, when I did ask the community, many people had the same answer, and those were bans, permanent bans, but not just permanent bans based on an account basis, because permanent bans already exist on account basis. It's like if you are caught cheating in Destiny 2 on your account, like let's say I was cheating on my account, the Wormkeeper, that would be banned. I would never be able to log back in on my computer, at my friend's house, at my mom's house, dad's house. I could never get back into Destiny on that account. But a lot of people were saying that we should implement IP bans or even hardware bans. And IP bans, of course, these are, you know, they ban basically where you're playing from. So if I'm playing from, you know, my house or, you know, a neighbor's house or something like that, Destiny 2 will issue a ban to that IP address. So anybody that tries to get on Destiny from the, you know, a known cheater's location can no longer get in to Destiny 2. Like, they can't play the game, right? And that would, you know, I think there is potential in doing that, because I don't believe Bungie issues IP bans, but maybe that could be a good start to prevent habitual cheaters from downloading hacks, getting banned, making another account, because Destiny is a free-to-play game, making another account, getting banned again, just kind of that cycle that happens over and over again. And of course, there's also the hardware ban, which hardware bans are a lot more difficult to do. And hardware bans, just like IP bans, they can be spoofed, they can be tricked and stuff like that. You know, like I could use a VPN to set my location being somewhere else, you know, so that an IP ban would not inhibit me from making a new account and playing. And I'm pretty sure that most people who are cheating in Destiny 2, like hacking in Destiny 2, are probably using these VPNs so that they don't potentially ruin their house. Like, guys, like, I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of somebody just deciding to go cheat in some random video game that they've never played. Like, the people that are actively cheating in Destiny 2, it's probably the same players that are habitually doing it, and it's probably players that have a main account that they play on, that they are, you know, that's their main account. Like, they want to cheat in Destiny 2 because they want to feel that power, you know, stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to go download cheats in Apex Legends and win Apex Legends. I don't play Apex Legends. I don't care about cheating in Apex Legends and, you know, getting first place in a battle royale game if I don't actually play the game. So I think that, you know, these cheaters, these habitual cheaters that are making new account stuff, they have a main account somewhere. And yes, if Bungie could track that account down and shut that one down, that might get them a little bit more open to the situation, or it might push them away from Destiny 2. But of course, when using VPNs and stuff like that, like you can trick, you know, those IP bans and stuff. So IP bans, not a solid option. There's also hardware bans, you know, things like banning, you know, your network number on your GPU and stuff like that. But even those, they can be tricks. Like, I don't think there's an actual way you can straight hardware ban something, like, so that, you know, like a GPU cannot play Destiny 2. Like, I don't think that that's possible. Like, I know that with hardware bans, they do exist, but they're a little bit more difficult to implement. And really, like, at that point, it's like, does Bungie even want to take the time to implement something like that? Answer is probably not. But, you know, moving back towards the discussion of cheaters, again, these are specifically for like hackers and stuff. And for hackers, like I said, they're not very common in Destiny 2. But what is more frequently encountered inside of Destiny 2 are people that are using Zim and Cronus and other hardware devices that can actually, you know, give them that competitive advantage. And I called them subtle cheaters earlier because that's exactly what they are. They are subtly cheating. They're cheating so that it's almost impossible to detect it. For example, like, let's say I'm using Dead Man's Tale, okay, and it has a base. I don't know what Dead Man's Tale base aim assistance is. I want to say it's like 50 something, but let's say its base aim assistance is, let's just round out 50. I can plug in a Zim or, you know, a Crone or something like that into my Xbox controller, because I play on controller on PC, but I can plug that in and I can change that aim assistance level, you know, at micro levels. Like, I can go, okay, let's take this 50 aim assistant, let's change it 55, or let's give it 60, or let's even crank it up to 75 or 80 aim assistance. Like, that's not something that's necessarily going to guarantee that I'm going to hit my shots, but it's going to make it a lot easier to hit my shots. And of course, when you're using a Zim and Cronus, because I researched into what these items do, you know, you can change a lot of metrics on your weapons, you know, your recoil directions, you know, I've you know, heard rumors that you can increase even like fire rate and stuff like that, which I don't think that that's necessarily true. Maybe for some games, don't know about Destiny 2, but you can change, like, you know, you can change a lot of settings to make your performance even better. And again, it's a hardware device, so it's a lot more difficult to, you know, understand, like, hey, is somebody actively cheating or is somebody really good? Because as Destiny 2 players, if you're a hardcore player, and especially if you're in the PvP scene, you know for a fact that we get a little egotistical sometimes. We get in those lobbies and we'll have 5 or 6 games where we absolutely shred 30 plus kills, 40 plus kills, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus KDs, you know, we're absolutely messing up the opponents, and then we get in a game and somebody does the exact same thing to us, right? And it goes to our head, oh, this person's cheating and blah, 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 like all this. Like, it happens to everybody, and you want to report them, but the reality is there are people out there who are better than you. Okay, I know there are people that play Destiny 2 that are better than me. Okay, and I know that at some point I'm going to encounter those players, but it's very difficult to distinguish, is somebody better than me because they're just straight up better, they have more gun skill, or is somebody better because they're using these cheats? And I actually encountered somebody who I suspected of using a Zim a couple weeks ago in the Crucible, and they were using heliocentric. But the thing about their heliocentric is they were hitting shots from an exceptionally long range. Okay, way outside of a 360 round per minute sidearms effective range, and they were like beaming me. Now, again, in close quarters, I don't have a problem with that, because in close quarters, sidearms are dominant and sidearms can kill incredibly fast, and sidearms are not difficult to use. And again, like, I know people are better than me, so I kept dying in these close quarters, didn't think twice about it. But then we got to a situation where I was shooting him with my 300 round per minute sidearm, my Rat King. It was hitting for substantially lower damage. Like, I hit a crit and it was only hitting like 40 something damage. So we were way outside of effective range of a 300 round per minute sidearm, let alone a 360. And he beams me. And that was kind of my red flag. I'm like, hold on. Sidearms have incredible aim assistance drop off. Like, once you hit like a certain range, their aim assistance literally just disappears. You have no aim assistance whatsoever, and that range is really close. And so this player beamed me from this far away. Like, that's my red flag. But again, like, had that one kill not happened, if I had strictly engaged in close range, I wouldn't necessarily know that this person is cheating. And still, even to this day, I don't know for a fact that they were cheating. Maybe they just have really strong input. Maybe they just have really, good control over their weapons. Like, I can't say for sure. And here's the thing, that I never want to report somebody unless I know for a fact that they're cheating. If I see somebody flying around, shooting a million golden gun shots off, that person's getting reported because they need to go they need to go, right? They can't be playing Destiny. But if I can't 100% tell somebody's cheating, and not just like, oh, my gut's telling me, I mean like blatantly, like I could literally record it and say, this has got to be cheating. There's no way that a normal player can do this. Like, I don't like to report people for that. So I don't always report people who I suspect of potentially using Zim and Cronus. And maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe if more people would report people for, suspected Zim, using Zim and stuff like that, wouldn't be as much of an issue. But I also think that you would have genuine good players just getting reported too much. And I know for a fact that, especially if you're very good in the PvP scene, you've probably been reported before, just because somebody's mad or salty that you did better than them. You actually probably got reported by somebody who thought they were the god of the lobby, and then you stepped in, put them in their place, they reported you because they thought you were cheating. And like, we don't want to have a situation where somebody gets so many like cheating reports that they are flagged and their account gets, restricted or banned, when they're not cheating. They're just really genuinely good. They really they have a, the perfect mouse, the perfect keyboard, like the perfect, DPI and stuff like that, that they can actually control their weapons straight from a skill-based perspective. No use of Zim or Cronus or anything like that. But how do we actually handle Zim and Cronus users? Again, this is a very difficult option. One of the ideas that I thought of was, what if we separated lobbies based on, instead of PC versus console, what if we separated lobbies based on input, controllers versus mouse and keyboards? But also like that, I thought about that, immediately went out, because the way that Zim works is, one of the things that you can do with the Zim is you can program your your controller to look like a mouse and keyboard, right? But it still has that controller aim assistant, so it would register players playing on a controller, but they're actually playing on M&K, and they have that aim assistance that comes with controller as well. So I don't necessarily think that would be a good idea. To divide. I think it'd be a great idea to divide the lobbies like that, just for a more balanced experience for everybody, but I don't think that would actually solve the Zim issue. The only other thing I could actually think of that potentially could mitigate the Zim and the Cronus users, aside from what Bungie's doing currently, because just sidestep for a second, Bungie is on top of Zim and Cronus users. Like, they are banning people who are using Zim. Like, they're I'm sure that's the way that they're doing this, and I don't know for a fact, but I'm sure the way they're doing this, they are collecting data over every single player. They are looking at your KD over an extended period of time, and they're looking for really, really sharp inclines. If your average KD is like a 1.0, and then all of a sudden it jumps to a 1.3, like overnight, and it steadily stays at 1.3, and then over the next few weeks it just goes up and up and up, that's probably not just natural skill that you're building. Like, that's probably the use of a cheat, because like the way that KDs go up over time is not over a couple of weeks. Like, it's probably more of a straight line over a couple months. Like, when you start playing, you start at a 1.0 KD, then after 2 or 3 years of playing, then you're averaging about 2.0, maybe 3.0 KD, somewhere in there. So I'm sure that that's probably one of the things they're looking at, is how quickly your KD is jumping and how quickly it's spiking. They're also probably looking at precision shot ratios. If you are using a 300 round from a sidearm, just for example, and you're hitting 60% crit ratio, and that jumps to like 80%, or maybe even lower number, maybe like jump from 60 to 70% overnight, that's going to potentially get flagged. But I think that really the only other option that we could potentially have to catch all of the cheaters out there is a really invasive anti-cheat. And I'm not a huge advocate for this, and I know that a lot of people that are watching this probably are not advocates. Like, you're probably not an advocate of invasive anti-cheat, because of course invasive anti-cheat runs, like, it integrates with the PC's performance. Like, you can, like, it can potentially take control of your system to flag you for cheating, or to stuff like that. Like, people don't like invasive things in their privacy or in their business. We don't like an invasive government because we're American. We don't like, invasive anything. So invasive anti-cheat, even just saying that word is already going to get people going, no, I don't think that would be it. But I think that that's possibly one of the only solutions we could have to catching these Zim and Cronus users and banning them quickly. Now, one more thing to talk about is Bungie, like I said, they are on top of Zim and Cronus users. And I think when it comes to Zim and Cronus users, players, like, you're gonna get caught eventually. Like, there's no way you can play for months and months, or maybe even years, and I could be wrong on this, who knows, but there's no way you can play for months and years with a Zim or Cronus and not get flagged. I think what it is that it takes longer to detect cheating. Like with hacking, you know, if somebody's actually hacking and they have golden gunshots going off, you're probably going to get 8-9 people reporting them per game. So after 5 games, you have 40 plus reports of cheating in. That's going to issue an account, you know, a ban on that account. But again, with Zim and Cronus, you know, you might have one person every other game that reports them. So those reports trickle in a little bit slower. And again, Bungie has to filter out which reports are genuine reports and which reports are, hey, you got your butt kicked. And so you reported this person because you were frustrated at them, right? But I don't know. I think that Bungie's doing all that they can to combat Zim and Cronus users, and I don't think they're that common, but I asked the community what they thought. But yeah, with that being said, that's gonna be the end of this video. Just, yeah, tell me your thoughts about it in the comments. If you have any specific ideas as to what Bungie could do to ban Zim users and Cronus users, please tell me in the comments. I love reading y'all's ideas. Y'all have some crazy ideas. But yeah, that's it for me. Like the video, it helps the channel a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content, conversations, discussions, all that stuff. And do me a favor, watch the videos you see here on the end screen, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you'll like them. Guys, I'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.